How you court a girl and actually win her over. First, stop practicing your opening line on office equipment. You are standing beside the printer at 8:45 in the morning, whispering, "Hey, Maya, interesting weather we are having." Then Maya walks up behind you and says, "Are you talking to the printer?" You look at the machine. You look at her. You say, "It jams when it feels ignored." The printer immediately spits out 40 blank pages. Your experiment has begun. You have liked Maya for 3 months. She works 2 rows away and somehow makes carrying coffee look cinematic. You once walked into a glass meeting room wall because she said good morning. So you decide to use actual psychology. 5 weeks, 5 ideas, 1 rule. If she is not interested, the experiment ends. Nobody becomes a hostage to your personal growth. Week 1 is familiarity. In 1968, psychologist Robert Zijunk published research on the mere exposure effect. Repeated exposure can sometimes improve evaluations. Your nervous brain translates this into appear everywhere. Monday, Maya reaches the elevator. You are there. Tuesday, she enters the break room. You are studying soup beside the microwave. Wednesday, she visits accounting. Somehow, you are discussing staplers with payroll. By Thursday, Maya finds you beside a plant near her desk, standing like office furniture with anxiety. She asks, "Do you need something?" You panic and say, "Sunlight. You are indoors." The plant is plastic. Science has not failed you. You ignored the limitations. Zhejiang studied things like symbols and words. He did not recommend haunting a coworker's daily route, so you reset. No engineered collisions. When you naturally share the elevator, you say good morning. When a coffee machine breaks, you make one normal comment and return to work. The conversations last 20 seconds, then a minute, then 2. You learn that Maya takes the stairs when she is stressed and hates when people reply to every email with noted. More importantly, she learns you can finish a conversation without attaching yourself to it like a trailer. On Friday, Maya enters the kitchen and greets you first. "Hey, how is the printer's emotional recovery?" She remembered the joke. Your brain launches fireworks. Your face must not. You answer, "We are rebuilding trust." She smiles and leaves. Week 1 result. Familiarity creates an opening. It is not permission to become a recurring background character in somebody else's life. Week 2 is curiosity. You have read that self-disclosure and responsive listening help people feel closer. Researchers Jean-Philippe Laurenceau, Lisa Feldman Barrett, and Paula Petromonaco studied everyday interactions and found that disclosure and feeling understood were important parts of experienced intimacy. Your first attempt misses the phrase feeling understood. You ask Maya what she did over the weekend. She says she visited her sister. You immediately tell a 7-minute story about your own cousin's motorcycle. Halfway through, you realize Maya is trapped at a show she did not buy tickets for. She says, "Wow," 3 times. The third contains no oxygen. You stop and ask what she and her sister did. They tried baking bread and produced construction material. This time, you listen. You ask if it tasted good. She laughs and says the butter survived. The next Thursday, the cafeteria serves a dangerous-looking roll. You ask whether her sister has started supplying the company. Maya laughs because you remembered, not because you memorized a fact to deploy like a weapon. Then she asks whether your cousin fixed the motorcycle. She remembered too. That matters. Connection is not an interview. It moves in both directions. Week 3 is humor. Maya has laughed near you 4 times. 2 were at your jokes. 1 was at the printer. 1 was when you tried catching a dropped spoon with your foot. Data is data. You rehearse a joke, the pause, the eyebrow, and a casual lean. When Maya arrives, you deliver it perfectly. She says, "That is funny," in the tone people use when identifying furniture. The problem is that laughter is not a button you press. Laura Kurtz and Sarah Algo recorded existing couples and found that shared laughter was associated with closeness, support, and relationship quality. Associated is important. The study did not prove that firing jokes at someone creates attraction. Shared laughter is something two people make together. Your rehearsed joke gave Maya nothing to join. It was a presentation with one terrified employee in the audience. The real moment happens during a video meeting. Your manager freezes on screen with one eye closed and a hand raised like he is blessing the quarterly report. Nobody knows whether he can still hear. The whole team stays serious. You glance at Maya. Maya glances at you. You both copy the manager's frozen pose at exactly the same time. The laughter escapes before either of you can stop it. Then Maya adds the raised hand. You add the closed eye. Now the joke belongs to both of you. Later, Maya sends a picture of an empty chair posed like the manager. No romantic declaration. Just a continuation when you were not standing there. Week 3 result. Do not measure whether she laughs at you. Notice whether she plays with you. Polite laughter ends with the joke. Shared humor keeps walking after the meeting. Week 4 is reliability. Research by psychologist Pat Barkley found that people described with small altruistic tendencies were rated as more desirable for long-term relationships than neutral people. Your brain again focuses on the result and ignores the word small. Maya mentions that her team has a late deadline. The next morning, you arrive carrying 6 coffees, 2 bags of pastries, color-coded folders, and a desk lamp you bought because you read that lighting affects morale. Maya asks why you bought a lamp. You say, support. She says the office already has lights. You say, targeted support. Now your kindness has a marketing department. The problem with grand favors is that they can feel like invoices wearing ribbons. If you help someone while silently waiting for romance's payment, that is not generosity. That is an extremely confusing store where the other person never agreed to shop. The useful task comes 2 days later. You promise to send Maya a clean spreadsheet before her client call. Nobody is watching. There is no dramatic music. You finish it when you said you would. Check the formulas and send it without adding a speech about loyalty. During the call, one number changes. Because your work is organized, Maya fixes it quickly. Afterward, she thanks you and leaves your favorite snack beside your keyboard before her next meeting. That snack is not proof of love. It shows she noticed. Week 4 result. Be dependable because that is your character, not because you are feeding coins into a romance machine. She should never feel that every favor adds invisible debt. Reliability works when it makes life steadier, not when it makes somebody wonder what you expect. Week 5 is reciprocity. This is where nervous people become detectives. Maya sat near you at lunch. Evidence. Maya used a smiley face. Evidence. Maya asked if you wanted anything from the coffee shop. Open and shut case. Except every one of those things can also mean she is friendly. One signal is a moment. A pattern is information. So instead of treating basic kindness like a secret confession, you watch whether effort comes from both sides. Psychologists Rebecca Curtis and Kim Miller once led people to believe an interaction partner liked or disliked them. Those expectations changed how warmly they behaved, which then affected how the other person responded. The lesson is not to assume everybody secretly wants you. The useful lesson is that expecting automatic rejection can make you closed, tense, and difficult to know. Confidence here means giving warmth a chance without inventing an answer. So you look at the month, not one lunch. Maya starts conversations when she does not need anything. She remembers your presentation day and asks how it went. At an office gathering, there are 6 open seats, and she chooses the one beside you. When you prepare to leave, she asks if you are staying for another drink. She sends the next joke. She carries part of the connection. That does not guarantee romance, but it makes one respectful invitation reasonable. Friday arrives. Your 5-week experiment has produced no magic line. You still feel like your stomach is attempting to resign. Maya is packing her bag. You walk over before your courage files the paperwork. You say, "I like talking with you. Would you want to get coffee with me Saturday as a date?" Clear question. Clear meaning. No fake emergency. No mystery ticket. No 12-paragraph confession delivered beside the printer. Then you stop talking. This is the advanced technique. You let her answer. Maya smiles and says, "Yes, but only if you promise not to emotionally manipulate the coffee machine." You say the coffee machine and I are keeping things professional. She laughs. You laugh. The printer jams in the distance because some relationships are not ready to heal. So, how do you court a girl and actually win her over? You do not run a psychological combination lock until a girlfriend falls out. You become familiar without invading her space. You listen without waiting for your turn to perform. You build humor together. You keep your word without sending an emotional invoice. You notice reciprocal effort, then ask clearly once. Science can help you create better conditions for connection. It cannot choose for her. And that is the part people miss. Winning her over is not defeating resistance. It is discovering whether something mutual can grow when both people feel comfortable, seen, and free. If she says no, the experiment did not fail. It gave you an answer, and respecting that answer is part of being the kind of person worth saying yes to. In this story, Maya says yes. Not because you hacked attraction, but because over 5 weeks, both of you kept choosing the next conversation.